Alright, y'all, what's going on? This your boy Killah Threat,
Yeah, I know who it is, Cool Cal.
and this is another episode of Welcome to the Lou Town Podcast. You already know what time it is. We always get into these deep conversations to raise questions, you know what I'm saying? So we can go and have some good commentary back and forth with you all. And today, I would like to go ahead and talk about with my guy, my homie, my cuzzo, my colleague, Cool Cal. We gonna talk about discipline today, folks. So, let's get down to it, shall we?
Let's do it.
Alright, man. Now let's go ahead and break down the definition, because I think we vaguely all know what discipline is. You know what I'm saying? It's like being concentrated and having a tunnel vision of doing one thing and sticking to that one thing till you reach the end of the road, or the end of the tunnel to your destination. You know what I'm saying? But to go ahead and break it down so I won't keep winging it, the definition is the practice of training people to obey rules or behavior, or a branch of knowledge a person studied in college. So I would basically be sticking on the first part of discipline, which is the practice of training people to obey rules or a code or a behavior, which we are all trained to be a certain type of way to become disciplined, because we ain't automatically disciplined when we come out the womb. I don't care what none of y'all say. Yeah, we ain't all been like this from the rooter to the tutor, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, it took some molding.
yes, most definitely.
Somebody had to take you up under the wing.
Yes, very true. Now, to break this down real quick, there is 3 types of discipline. The first type of discipline is preventive. Now, examples of this is like if we all go back in the days when we were kids, because like I say, we had to be taught discipline. You know what I'm saying? Some was taught by our parents out the gate, who didn't spare the ride, who used to beat the brakes off of us to go ahead and establish rules and boundaries. So, outside of your household, when you go ahead and get more knowledgeable or retain more knowledge from the things that you learn in school, they have discipline there too. An example would be like classroom rules. I know we all remember classroom rules when we had to stay in one class all day, being bored, trying not to fall asleep, listening to the same teacher go over various subjects, like each subject was a new class.
And I was falling asleep.
Like a mug. You know what I'm saying? The way to be preventative that they will practice for us to become disciplined as students will be putting rules on the wall. You might have rules on the chalkboard. They will remind students every day of the rules. If some student was to accidentally or on purpose break the rules to be a class clown or so on and so forth. So they'll always remind students or remind us where our place is in the classroom. Some teachers, you know, the teachers, shouts out to a lot of my teachers, because every teacher wasn't mean. They would give us rewards for good behavior, like treats, get a sticker on the chart. Get so many stickers, you get a treat. You get so many stickers, you get a bigger prize. You get so many stickers, you might get an extra recess. Who knows? Whatever the teacher puts in place to go ahead and get you on the right track so you could become more disciplined in nature, so the whole class can have a better learning experience without you clowning around in class. Also, to back up what they're doing, I remember like yesterday, from at least first grade to third grade, my teacher had my parents sign a sheet that we had to take home, just a sheet full of the rules. And if the parents agreed to those rules that the teachers was going to be putting on us to obey at school, they can go ahead and sign and date the sheet, and we bring it back. We bring it back signed within a certain amount of days. Let's say 2 or 3 days, you'll get some candy or you get a prize or something like that. You'll get a reward. So this is all things that are put in place for preventive discipline. You know what I'm saying? To prevent a disciplinary action from happening. Like me, you know, I do things within my business, and I have certain studio rules and guidelines that I let everybody know who want to do business with the boy. Hey, this is the do's, these are the don'ts. to make it, you know what I'm saying, if you do more regarding the dues and we have a good relationship, I see that you're business savvy, I see that you're business professional, I might hook you up, give you, you know, half off a beat, or I might give you a free beat if I really like you. I might go ahead and knock off something on the session next time, or I might give you a free session down the road. You know what I'm saying? These are all preventative strategies. You know what I'm saying? They give artists that I work with a certain type of discipline that I expect from everybody, just because we all grown in nature. So
we all adults.
Yeah, you know that's right. Now, sometimes, which I would never go into this preventative action, is involving like some schools, just depending on where you go to. I know some schools are very troubled neighborhoods, and they do preventative action by involving school admin into rule enforcement, which school admin can be like principals or calling, you know, the boys on you to go ahead and try to get you in line. I'm not doing all of that. You know what I'm saying? But these are just some preventative actions. For sure. For discipline. Now, that's preventively. Now, the next one will be supportive discipline. This is the second step. So supportive discipline is like something like a measure that's taken when rules are broken. So if the preventive, where you go ahead and put down the guidelines that don't work and somebody decides to go ahead and try to test you, try to test the waters, try to test your manhood, well, now we got to go ahead and go into the supportive discipline, which by examples can be like if we were still in school, the teacher, if I was the teacher, I'll remind the students of the rules, like, hey, remember when you step into my classroom, you got to go ahead and behave in this certain manner. This is what I'm expecting of you, because I'm trying to go ahead and teach my class, which I'd say my class is audio engineering. I'm trying to teach everybody how to mix down this music so when they go ahead and put out their next hit, it can sound crispity, crunchity, nice and clean, so everybody can hear from top to bottom, highs, lows, mids, have full reinforcement to this music that they're trying to release. So if they can't dig that, which you reminding them of these rules, you just give out verbal warnings. Is another way to be supportive, letting them know that.
Or in my case, people that work for me, I do things like preventive discipline. You know, I offer rewards, I offer extra breaks, extended lunches, reward points that they can purchase things. Supportive discipline is like, hey, we all adults. You know the ground rules, right? Any more conversations, we're gonna go in a different direction.
Giving out the warnings.
Yeah, that's that verbal, that written, those kind of warnings. That's my supportive discipline. Yeah. I don't like repeating myself to adults.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? There's no need to. I know, like back in the days, like even going in when I was in college, it was people that were adults, because we all adults. Shout out to my college, which is the one wearing a shirt right now, Extreme Institute by Nelly. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the EI alumni. You know who y'all are. You know what I'm saying? You already know how we held it down. That was like a second home from home. You know what I'm saying? I love that place. But when people used to come in and try to be disruptive, not only in the class, but within the school, you know what I'm saying? The teachers, they were so cool that they would try to go ahead and redirect that person's disruptive behavior by giving them an extra task in the studio. Like, meet me in Studio C. I want you to go ahead and mix this down. Help me mix this down. Or what you good at doing? You got a guitar? Well, come on, lay some riffs down with me. Or go ahead and take the animosity that can be created from the situation. They just aired that out immediately, just giving them something else to be interested in doing instead of acting like a clown. They just went on and went another angle with it, and I think that was completely genius, and that kept the whole environment of the school professional, and it kept all the hoorah out too. You know what I'm saying? With people getting into their feelings and all of that stuff. So it's always another way to dispel that energy if you have bad energy coming into an environment, no matter if it's school, if it's the gig, if it's the business, if it's the studio, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But that supportive discipline always is a good thing to have if the preventive doesn't always work. Because usually the preventive usually is good enough, but you still got some knuckleheads that want to try you, so you got to go ahead and bring in that supportive. And sometimes that changes how they attempt to do things. So lastly, you have corrective discipline. And with corrective discipline, that's when you took all the measures that you can take, you took all the turning the other cheeks that you can take,
all the warnings, all the reminders, all the bargaining, like, hey, work with me, I work with you, all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, help me help you.
You dig? Once, like Cal said, you go ahead and do all the warnings, and now you're starting to get into a verbal altercation, that's when things have became serious. No matter if you're a student in grade school, middle school, high school, college, if you in the business light, no matter if you a government, commercial, no matter if you're doing like private sector contract work, once you decide to break rules that are put in place so you can establish and be seen within a certain behavior, you have to have a certain behavior pattern to win this game of life. No matter how you look at it, you're gonna have to go ahead and obey some rule or have some type of discipline regarding yourself, or you just gonna be out here lost for real. But corrective action has to be put, or corrective discipline has to be put in place, where now if I was a school teacher, you about to go in time out now, buddy. You know what I'm saying? Now you finna lose recess, buddy. Now I'm finna go call your parents, buddy, because now you beside yourself. If you at a job, my man, Cal, go ahead. Now we gotta go ahead and write you up now, because now you acting like a fool now. Because you act like you don't want to do what you supposed to do or do what we paying you to do. Or if you in my studio, now you want to go ahead and get mad and want to throw hands and do all this extraness like we back in middle school, just because you can't have your way in my establishment. Even though you're not paying for the establishment, you ain't paying for none of the equipment that you're asking or begging sometimes to get on in my establishment. But you feel like you can be as comfortable as you want to be and be disrespectful at the same time, and nothing should happen. There shouldn't be no consequence behind that. That's remedial. So corrective actions got to be put in place.
Corrective discipline for sure behind that. Contrary to popular belief, everyone answers to somebody. I don't care what field that you in, what line of business that you in, legal or illegal. Everybody has somebody to answer to. Now y'all can live in a fantasy fake world and say I'ma own this. If you own a restaurant, you have regulations that you have to and standards that you have to uphold, or you will be shut down.
Facts.
So even people that own businesses, if you're doing other things, you got somebody that you got to answer to in some form or fashion. Let's stop kidding ourselves and lying to ourselves.
Right, because everybody answers. Even with the biggest companies, you got your CEOs who got to answer to the presidents that got to answer to the directors who got to actually answer to the owners of the whole thing. It's always a hierarchy.
Even deeper than that, you got to answer to the people. Because without the people, you have no business.
Facts. Like that.
Yeah, I'm just tired of all this faking. Yeah. I don't answer to nobody. I'm my own. You answer to somebody in some capacity.
Yeah. True. Now, the great examples of being disciplined, or the great examples of discipline, will be like the military. You know what I'm saying? Because even though I don't agree with everything that they do, they are disciplined enough to take orders and follow through orders, no matter if it is right or wrong. That's why the U.S. military is one of the biggest and the strongest militaries in the world, because of how disciplined they are. So shout out to the Army, the Navy, the Marines, and the Air Force. We can't forget about what's the Coast Guard. We can't forget about the Coast Guard. But yeah, y'all keep doing y'all thing and keep fighting for our freedoms every day, every week, every year like y'all do. Just make sure y'all stay safe and remain disciplined and go with your gut. You know what I'm saying? Another great example of discipline will be the Nation of Islam. Now I'm not Muslim, but by all means, they are disciplined and they believe how they dress, how they eat, how they talk to each other, even how they address beef and talk and settle beef in certain situations. They like real deep with discipline. It's like discipline is like they main thing, and I have nothing but respect for that. So shouts out to the Nation of Islam. Another great example of discipline will be our latest debacle that we all seen across the world is Chris Rock not throwing hands with Will Smith during the Oscars after getting the taste smacked out of his mouth. That is a great form of discipline, because knowing me, I would have took it back to the north side, would have took it back to the Cochran. You know what I'm saying? I would have took it back to the streets. You know what I'm saying? Because that would have just put me in that type of situation, especially being on national television and you're trying to emasculate me for saying a joke, which people been joning and talking about people since Def Comedy Jam, since Comic View. And the jokes have been way more raw than what Chris did. And he's got the taste smacked out of him. And he had to hold his composure for everybody in Hollywood and the world to see. So
yeah, another great example of discipline would be, if you guys don't know, I'm a big boxing fan. I'm a big MMA fan. Discipline is going through an 8-week camp and following a training regimen, getting up at 4 a.m. to do the workouts. Definitely maintaining a diet to make weight, because you know, when you're in the camp, making weight is the hardest thing. That's the biggest fight that you got to deal with, is making that weight. That's a big example of discipline. Speaking of discipline, my child has walked in to interrupt our podcast.
Both kids.
And she's about to get some discipline if she doesn't exit back out.
Michael, go ahead, turn on that light for me, son. It's all right. Michael, close that door for us. Thank you. Mikey, close that door. Thank you. Discipline. Drop kicks about to come all over the place.
There's gonna be some corrective discipline.
For real. But yeah, I would say discipline is most definitely important in our community, because with more discipline, if more groups of people, starting from an individual, then getting into groups, doing things as far as starting businesses, starting, I don't know, centers, starting whatever, discipline can get us to that next level. I think is the first thing that we need to go ahead and get down is just discipline. Discipline in how we eat, discipline in how we treat each other, discipline on how we talk to each other, discipline on how we look at each other. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we can go ahead and get this together and go ahead and recreate the status quo, change the narrative on a lot of things. But it all starts with discipline of the mindset. So,
self-discipline.
Facts. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and cap this off real quick. You know what I'm saying? Once again, it is another episode of Welcome to the Lou Town Podcast by your boy and Cool Cal.
Yes, sir.
If y'all haven't, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. It's that red button that you see on the lower right hand side. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button as well. It helps out the algorithm, where you'll be able to see me and Cal on multiple places, no matter if it's on your news feed, or it can help us get in algorithms where we will be on other people's news feed. Also hit that bell notification so you can always be notified when we are going to have new content, which as always we drop new content every Thursday like clockwork.
And you know, word of mouth is still the best promotion in the world, so tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yes, sir.
That simple.
That simple. And then, as always, I'm gonna promote this forever. Hey, y'all better go ahead and listen to that CoolKillahz album. It's everywhere. Trying to tell you,
Literally.
for real, everywhere. Streams is climbing. I appreciate everybody that listened to it, everybody that gave me their feedback on it.
Shout out.
I want y'all to do me another favor. I want y'all to continue to listen to it. Go ahead and just play your favorite tracks on there if you want to. It helps out. Every little penny counts.
You know what I'm saying?
We always promote, we always create new content, we always advertise and market. This money has to come from somewhere. Big business. Business talk for you right there. But once again, we thank you, we love y'all, and until next time, we gone.